What's up guys, DPX here, welcome back to the channel. Reviewing today, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. As you can see, I'm dressed for the occasion. Now before we get into that, you know what to do. Share this video, subscribe, and hit the bell, leave a comment, or I will strangle you. So, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I was a bit skeptical going in, because, I love Mario. I'm a huge Mario fan. It's probably one of my favorite video game franchises, but there are two major things going into this that I really was not sure about. The first thing was, how does Mario translate into a movie? Because the Mario games have no plot, basically. It's like, Princess Peach gets captured, you go and save Peach. I don't know how you make a movie out of that. And the second thing, though, and the thing I was most worried about, was Illumination, because they have like a low risk, high reward sort of, mentality, sort of model, They put very low budgets in their movies, and then they put the rest of their money into the advertising, so their advertising is what causes their movies to make a lot of money. So their movies in return become somewhat like generic, But the trailer started to win me over because visually it looked really good and it seemed to be just a love letter to Mario fans, and that's the best way I can describe it. This movie, I'll just say right off the bat, your enjoyment of this movie will depend on how much of a Mario fan you are. Also wanted to get this out of the way. The critics said that there is like no plot to this movie. I don't understand that. There is definitely a plot. It might be a very thin plot, but there's definitely a plot. One thing I was also kind of worried about, some annoyance I had as well, was the voice cast. Not that they are not talented, but like I don't really like getting these celebrity voice actors for an animated movie when there are talented voice actors out there, but they all, I feel like, kind of just worked. Like, Chris Pratt was probably the biggest concern going in, but he, you don't really notice that he's Chris Pratt. Like, at first it's a little bit like, okay, Mario's a little Brooklynese, I guess, but like throughout the movie you kind of forget. I didn't even realize I'm watching Chris Pratt voice Mario. And also Charlie Day as Luigi, Jack Black as Bowser, Keegan-Michael Key as Toad, Anya Taylor-Joy as Peach, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong. They all do a very good job. The best part of this movie, though, has to be that this movie is Easter eggs galore. I'm not gonna spoil any of them, but like the Easter eggs you see in the trailers, or they're not really Easter eggs, but you get the cat suit, the Tanuki suit, Fire DK is in the trailer, which that would have been pretty cool if they didn't put that in the trailer, but whatever. That's only just some of the cameos, some of the callbacks to the games. There's so many, and there's even some cameos and Easter eggs and callbacks to other Nintendo games, not just Mario, and not just like other Mario series, like not just Donkey Kong, not just Yoshi, not just Wario. There's other Nintendo games in general, and they go deep. There's obscure ones. Spike is in this movie, Foreman Spike from Wrecking Crew. Not a spoiler, that was announced before, and shit, that's a pretty deep cut. They also even use some of the music, some songs from the Mario games that I didn't think we would hear. I thought they were used very well, but one of my issues is some of the other music. They used pop songs. Some pop songs you hear, like a lot of them are 80s, and then there's one that's not 80s. It's during a training montage. You can maybe guess what that song is, and they're not bad songs, but this is where it feels like an Illumination movie. They have to throw in pop songs in there. There's definitely a lot of Mario songs that could have worked for, like, a training montage, but they had to meet like a quota. You know what I mean? They had to they had to meet like a requirement for, okay, you gotta have these pop songs. But one thing I want to talk about, a good thing, is the look of the movie. Like I said, Illumination kind of go for like a low budget, kind of low risk, high reward sort of thing. But this movie, you know, it looks really good. You don't see too many like, you know, if you really pay close attention to some of the Illumination movies, I've seen some videos about this, like a lot of the background characters get repeated, the same exact model gets repeated over and over again, and I mean, I would assume maybe that happens a lot with the Toads, but like, you know, it's an army of Toads, so that makes sense, you know, but there's a lot of attention to detail everywhere. The movie, again, the animation looks amazing. This has to be one of the best looking animated movies I've ever seen. And also, it was made with love. You know, the movie is made with love. This isn't a low budget animated movie. Maybe it is still lower budget than, you know, most big animated movies. You know, it's probably a lower budget than maybe a lot of the Pixar movies or maybe a lot of the DreamWorks movies. But you can't convince me that this is the same budget as movies like Minions or Despicable Me or Secret Life of Pets. You cannot convince me that this is the same amount of the same budget. And there's also some heart in there, you know, especially the stuff between Mario and Luigi, like whenever they're just, you know, and also the relationship between Mario and Donkey Kong, like. And, you know, there's a scene where that they share with each other. They're kind of like frenemies. You know, they become frenemies in the movie. And there's this moment where they share, and they're talking about, like, you know, they're talking, they're like relating to each other. You know what I mean? Which I think is really cool. And also, the movie's pretty funny too. Again, Illumination, they're usually like fart jokes and just low-hanging fruit. No, this one's not really low-hanging fruit. This one's perfectly fine. It's good humor. I laughed. I definitely laughed, and it's a fun time. That's what I can describe this movie as, a fun time at the movies. This is a lot of fun, and it got some mixed reviews, and I'm gonna touch on that real quickly. A lot of people are up in arms about how it's got mixed reviews. I'm like, first of all, okay, you understand, like, it's definitely, this kind of movie isn't gonna please everyone, you know, but also after seeing the movie, it's like, if you're a Mario fan, if you like Mario, you will dig this movie, and I mean really dig this movie. If you're not, if you really have no connection to Mario, I mean, on its own merits, I'm not sure how well it stands on its own. And yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to say about the movie. It's just a fun time at the movies if you're a Mario fan. If you're not, I'm not sure what your enjoyment will be out of this. But if you're a Mario fan, absolutely go see this movie. In the end, I'm going to give the Super Mario Bros. Movie an 8 out of 10. That might sound kind of high for what I said, but I really enjoyed it. And it's a good thing where if I'm watching the movie, by the end of the movie, I'm like, you know, I kind of wish that could have been a bit longer. Like, not that much longer, you know, but maybe add like 10 minutes to it. But that's my thoughts on the Super Mario Bros. Movie. What do you guys think about it? I'm sure, like, a lot of, I know some of you guys watching this video are, get hyping the movie up a little bit, but for all of you, what do you guys think about this movie? Let me know down below. Anyways, should I video, like, and subscribe, or I will strangle you. Bye!